there are certain experiential techniques that a person can utilize in order to place themselves in the right frame of mind, the right consciousness for Rosh Hashanah. Kabbalists are very fond of dawn, and most Kabbalists at various times, as I'm sure many people, arise at midnight and learn and study Torah and in order to see the dawn, because dawn, the new light that shines upon the world every morning, has the ability to raise consciousness of the divine to very, very high levels. Now, on a normal day, at midnight, we are saying Tikkun Chatzot, which is a very unique ritual where we mourn for the destruction of the temple, which really means that we are mourning for the degeneracy of our own generation. On Rosh Hashanah, we're not really entering that frame of mind of mourning where we stand before God and, in the words of Echa, Shifchi kamayim libech nochach panei Hashem, pour out your heart like water before God. There is something else happening. There is a concept of awe. There is a concept of yirah. I suggest to people, if they can, to greet the first day of Rosh Hashanah by seeing the dawn and by meditating deeply upon Psalm 33. Psalm 33 is actually quoted in the Mishnah, in the second Mishnah of Masechet Rosh Hashanah, in the discussion of the 4 times throughout the year that the world is judged. We know that on Pesach it's judged on grain, on Shavuot it's judged on the fruits of the trees. On Rosh Hashanah, all inhabitants of the world pass before the Creator of the universe like sheep. Shene'emar, says the Mishnah, Hayotzer yachad libam, who creates together their hearts, Hamevin el kol ma'asehem, who understands all their actions. This is from Psalm 33. Psalm 33 discusses and extols the idea that God is interested in human beings as part of creation, and that God is the force behind history, human history, because when we talk about the world, we're talking about the human world, human society, as well as the creator of the universe, in incredible terms that I don't even really want to talk about. I suggest people take Psalm 33 and meditate upon it deeply. So that is one particular technique. When we hear the shofar, we should see in the shofar a tremendous arousal to teshuvah. It is a call. God is always calling to the Jewish people, individually and collectively, to return, to effect teshuvah, whether that means a national return to the land, whether it means an individual return of the idea of inner transformation of self to become a vessel for the divine. When we hear the shofar, we are hearing a call, we're hearing a crying out that demands a response, and the word for response is teshuvah. So that after hearing the shofar, when we go into Musaf, which replaces the sacrifices that were offered in the temple on Rosh Hashanah, which really represent the focal point of the whole height of consciousness of Rosh Hashanah, of Yirah, of standing before the Creator of the universe and being judged. When we enter Musaf, we enter a frame of mind that really should completely strip us. It should totally break us down. When you say Musaf on Rosh Hashanah, you're not just saying another Amidah. You need to take your time. You need to read the words carefully. You need to understand why the verses that are brought in the three major sections of the central part of the Amidah for Musaf on Rosh Hashanah are brought. I would suggest to people not to wait until Rosh Hashanah to do that. I would suggest that people spend time studying the historical and literary context of that Amidah, so that when they come to the synagogue on Rosh Hashanah, they can focus all of that acquired information in a sublime moment of understanding what it is to respond to the call of the shofar, which demands teshuvah from us. Once again, I come back to what I said earlier. It's impossible to convey this by talking about it. Rosh Hashanah is fundamentally experiential, but the more we are familiar with the sources, the greater our experience will be and the more enlightening it will be.